got a fairly unique story. My start to real estate was a little bit unique. And, I just appreciate you guys showing up because, a lot of times you may show up and you're like, you don't know how credible somebody is. You don't know why should you even listen to somebody? So I'm going to share my story and just tell you guys a little bit of why you should listen to me, why I have the experience that I do in real estate and why I'm able to help our clients see massive success and massive results in their businesses as well. So when I first got started in real estate, before I got started in real estate, I was working as a personal trainer. I was making about $17,000 per year as a personal trainer. So it literally, before I got started, I ended up reading the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that's what sparked my interest. That's what sparked my desire to get into real estate. I read the book and knew I had to get into real estate, but making $17,000 a year and with what Robert Kiyosaki teaches inside of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I was like, he's teaching rental properties, and I was playing the cash flow game. And I'm like, man, people are making $400 a month, $300 a month on these rental properties. I'm like, it's going to take me forever to be able to make any kind of money here. So I was like, dang, this is going to take forever. And I don't have any money to begin with, so I can't buy rental properties. Well, I came across a webinar about wholesaling, and that webinar was talking about wholesaling, talked all about this, zero money down strategy where you can get into real estate with no money. And many of you guys have probably found out about wholesaling through some means like that. Some means talking about, the zero money down strategy. That's how I found out about wholesaling. I did not know anything about wholesaling before that. And honestly, when I was watching that webinar, I was like, dang, is this even legal? I didn't even know if it was legal or not. How many of you have ever, when you first found out about wholesaling, questioned if it was legal? Comment in the chat section if you questioned if wholesaling was legal when you first found out about it. I'm telling you, that's exactly how I was. And now I didn't jump right into wholesaling. It took me a couple of months before I jumped into it. But the breaking point for me before I jumped into real estate, the breaking point for me was when my wife went to the grocery store, and she went to the grocery store and could not buy food for our 2-year-old daughter. She went to the grocery store. She called me on the phone and she was crying. She said, James, our bank account's overdrawn. I can't buy food for Talia, our 2-year-old, who is our 2-year-old daughter at the time. And I'm panicking right now, as a husband, as a father, provider for my family, I'm literally panicking. And at that time, I'm as a personal trainer. Now I knew that we were going to have some payments from the clients that I was working with at that time come through in a day or two, but we needed money right then so that we could buy food for our daughter. I'm okay not eating for a couple of days, but I'm not going to allow my daughter to not eat for a couple of days. So I did the only thing that I knew I could get money instantly from that day, which was go to a blood donation place and donate blood because they pay you on the spot. So I went, I think they paid me $75. I went, donated blood just so that I could get $75 to go buy food at the grocery store for our daughter. Now, this was not that long ago, guys. This was in 2017. Basically, that was the only way that I knew how to get money instantly to be able to provide for my daughter at the time. So after that moment, something had to change. I was in a place where something had to change. I was not going to continue to live month to month and live in this state anymore to where I'm not confident to be able to provide for my daughter. I'm not confident to be able to provide for my family and the life that we really wanted. So I ended up taking a job right after that and moved across the state of Texas. I took a trucking job, which was my worst nightmare. It was horrible. absolutely horrible. Like I hated it, hated every aspect of it, but it was going to provide more money than our living expenses. And I never really experienced that before. I never been in a place where I had more excess capital, excess money over my living expenses. So I took a job as a means to an end. And this job gave me a little bit of surplus so that I could buy a wholesaling course. And then I got my first credit card ever. And I used my first credit card ever to start marketing. After I started marketing, because I did not want a truck, I had zero desire to be a truck driver. I wanted to get out of that as fast as humanly possible. So I was going gung-ho, pedal to the metal with wholesaling. And after I started marketing, I had $1,000 credit card that I started marketing with. And I got my first contract within 3 weeks of starting to market. So first contract came in, and my first contract came through bandit signs. I plastered the town. I would stay up until 1 or 2 a.m. putting bandit signs out all over the town, all throughout my town. So first, it was like probably the third call that I ever got from a bandit sign. This lady, I could tell she was motivated. She called in. She said, "Hey, I got a house that I inherited from my husband who just passed away." She's like, "Can you come take a look at it and see if you can buy it?" And then I ended up getting 2 deals after that over the next 2 weeks. So within the first like 5 weeks of me marketing in my beginning wholesaling career, I ended up getting 3 deals in my first 5 weeks. So once those first 3 deals closed, I ended up collecting about $35,000 from those deals.